Alright, what can you tell me about the strange wristband?
What can you say about this, miss? Have you seen anything like it?
Of course. Our residents wear these for identification. But how did you come by it? They only wear them inside the institution.
That's what I'm here to ask, miss.
Huh. I see.
The wristband does belong to one of our residents. But I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you more due to regulations.
Oh, is he still in the building?
Oh, come on, Miranda. It's us, the chicken police.
Your favorite chicken police.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Come on, do it for us.
Miranda, this case is a matter of life and death. Lives are in your hands.
All right. All right. I'll do it. Albert Wessler. The patient's name is Albert Thaddeus Wessler.
Figures. Just as we thought.
Thank you, Miranda. We'll never forget this.
Please, don't make me blush. And don't tell anyone you heard it from me.
Oh, we won't. I promise.
She's adorable, I like her.
So when can we talk to Mr. Wessler?
I need to ask Dr. Quetzal. Please wait here.
Thank you.
Alright, in that case we can...
It doesn't matter.
That was luck. We should go to reception first.
Can you
Dr. Quetzal will
Shit.
see you. He's waiting for you in his office. Up the stairs, all the way down the hall, until the last door.
What a surprise. It's enough to mention Wessler's name and all the doors are open.
I wouldn't want to get mixed up in this, but do you think Albert is in danger?
I mean, not anymore.
Danger? What do you mean?
We haven't heard from him since he disappeared, and we're really, really worried.
I see. We don't know yet, miss, but let's hope for the best.
Great wild ones protect him.
Where is he?
No idea, Marty.
He's right here.
The smell of all that's furry. I'll never get used to it.
Well, reptiles have a disgusting body odor, Marty, but they feel exactly the same about us.
Exactly.
He's a snake person.
Great wild ones, you scared the
Great
hell out of
googly
me.
moogly.
I already sensed your arrival from afar. You know, snakes have a different sense of smell. And birds used to be our prey once upon a time.
Well, yeah. Luckily, we're living in civilized times.
Lucky. Please take a seat. How can I help you, gentlemen?
Why, thanks. Oh, he's adorable. Now, what we were saying about
I
eating
haven't
me?
dusted you off in a while.
Damn it, I can never get to shoot people. Right, let's investigate first everything I can see. The walls.
Your office is rather Puritan. Simple, I mean.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, yes. I can't let my mind wander from my work. I only keep what's essential in my office.
I see. That makes sense.
Bullshit.
An isle of reason in a sea of insanity.
Insanity is such a strong word, and it's mostly an abstract idea. Where does insanity start, and how long is one not insane? Interesting questions. Am I normal, or are you? Maybe neither of us.
Oh, you're definitely not normal.
You see, that's something I think about a lot nowadays.
If you like, I can give you an appointment.
Oh, this is your chance, Sonny. Don't miss it. We're already here.
Marty, clock up. Is this cell like the others?
I would rather call it a room. But yes, it's like all the others, except there are even bigger ones than this.
Why do you have bars on your windows?
Because it's a room like all the others, and I'm just an animal too, like all our residents.
So what? Sometimes you think about just jumping off?
With the significant difference of you being a doctor and not a patient.
It's not as big of a difference as you'd think.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that. This boy crazy.
A snake. I can't help it, but they make my feathers stand on end.
Alright.
To be honest, gentlemen, your visit is anything but a surprise. I could even say I was expecting it.
What an introduction.
Please forgive me. I have the bad habit of immediately getting into the middle of things. How very rude of me. My name is Dr. Quetzal, but most call me Dr. Quetzal to keep it simple.
Yeah, I can't imagine why Dr. Seuss.
The name is Santino Featherland, and this is my partner, Martin McChicken,
From the predatory division of the Clawville Police Department. Your fame is one step ahead of you.
One step.
We're used to it.
Certainly.
We have some questions about one of your patients, if you don't mind. We'd like to talk to him, if that's possible.
Please be specific, detective.
Oh, come on, you know why I'm here.
Look, Doctor, we're too tired to play cat and mouse. Not that snake and chicken sounds any better.
Very funny, I must say. Just what I expected from you two detectives.
We know you know it's about Albert Wessler, Ibn Wessler's secret twin. Ever since we've said his name, all the doors have miraculously opened. That's what we call a bullseye.
Well, yes. Why should I deny it? We're talking about a rather illustrious patient here, who's also a very particular medical case.
Now, that's much more interesting. So, are you willing to talk about him?
Because Albert, regrettably, has disappeared, and you are police detectives, I have no reason not to talk to you. Of course, I'm at your service, but you must understand, I can't disclose information about my patients.
Not even if it's a matter of life and death?
Everything's a matter of life and death in here, detective. This is a hospital, even if it's primarily for the mind, not the body.
Still, I'd like to give the impossible a try.
Please, detective, just do your job, and I'll do mine.
Alright, new function, ask. Let's ask him about Albert.
How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
For quite some time, his first symptoms surfaced in his teens. Depression, panic attacks, and schizophrenia.
Was he brought here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it. That's the reason our institution stands out here in the middle of nowhere.
Because animals would rather hide what they're afraid to face.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Bullshit.
Then how do you sustain yourselves?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector III, of course.
Of course.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
My family and the royal dynasty had always been on good terms, Mr. Santino.
I can interrogate him, but let's first get the lore.
What kind of a place is this exactly? I assume it wasn't built as an insane asylum.
It used to be a mansion. Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century, until finally it went to the crown of Clawville when Hector's great-grandfather took the throne. The rest is history.
History.
How long have you been working here?
I've worked here for
Since I
more
was a
than
child.
30 years.
Damn.
But it's been in my family's possession for almost 150 years.
So if I count correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's almost accurate, Mr. Featherland.
What a lovely inheritance.
Alright, and we know Madame Zaiwas. Come on.
Tell me, Doctor, do you know Madame Zavas?
Just like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's an interesting case.
Oh, you can be sure about that. I'd gladly get you two together if I had the chance. A spare cell would suit her very much.
Is that so?
As it turns out, she likes small, narrow, secret places.
Oh, I see. What a coincidence.
Right, let's ask him the real questions this time.
Dr. Quetzal's a real mystery. But I can turn that to my advantage. I just need to focus on the strangest pieces of the puzzle.
Oh wow.
So when did Albert become a resident of your institute?
It looks so weird.
Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him, arrived here almost exactly 4 years ago.
Could you describe that day more specifically?
It was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe the first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows. The power was going out for short periods of time.
How is sleeting? What does that mean?
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
And Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible gray ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence a secret.
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course, Mr. Featherland. That's how it usually is.
What was your first impression of him?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving, never stopped for a second.
Was he afraid?
I wouldn't say so. It seemed to me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone, locked up in silence and darkness.
But why would he do that?
Didn't you think of that as unusual?
Of course I did, but who am I to judge? It was rather special treatment.
Alright. Addicted to details. What kind of special treatment did Albert get? Tell me, did Tip and West were threatening you in any way? Okay, what was so special about Albert's case?
What kind of special treatment did Albert get?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wessler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment. In the case of Albert, we put that aside.
Why?
So you didn't even know if he had anything wrong with him?
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
Okay. Daydreamer. How did you see Albert when you first met? Do you think he was a threat to others? How did Albert relate to you?
How did you see Albert when you first met?
Albert was shy and reserved, like a ghost. He almost never touched anything. It was evident he was exceptionally intelligent. He measured and observed everything around him.
What else?
He was delicate and graceful, almost like a woman. Yes. He was rather feminine. He was an artist, Mr. Featherland, a magnificent painter, and rather good writer, too. Sometimes I even heard him sing.
So the piece of painting that we have is probably made by him.
Why did he have to be locked up?
I asked the same thing at first.
Ooh, plus 20.
Are you telling me Albert had multiple personalities?
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures. He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on stormy days, took the reins over their shared mind.
He had these seizures from the beginning.
Yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
He did what? Left the institution? More than once?
Oh, yes, Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on several occasions until the last time, when he failed to come back.
Did he leave or did he escape?
Quetzal's not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that.
Plus 10, let's go. How could you let Albert leave this place? So Albert could just walk in and out? You're keeping some things from me, am I right? When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time? I actually like all 4 of these questions. What should we do? Mysterious, addicted to details. Alright, details then. The first time? That sounds detaily. Actually, just let him leave. You can walk in and out. Well, let's try the last one. When and why did he leave?
When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time?
It was about 2 years ago. Mr. Hobart Wessler appeared and demanded we let his brother go free. Naturally, we obliged. We had no idea if we'd ever see him again.
But you did.
He returned the same day. Albert was ecstatic. He was unrestrained. I could almost say happy.
That was unusual for him?
I had never seen him like that before, Mr. Featherland. He just smiled and stared at the empty wall for hours.
Did he ever tell you what happened to him outside?
Of course he did. Albert and I had a good relationship.
Oh?
He was working on a painting for his brother.
You don't say.
Was it a painting of a lovely lady cat?
Oh, exactly. So you already knew about that.
Yes, Dr. Quetzal, I've seen it.
We're getting closer. So Albert had left on many occasions to continue working on the painting. Did Albert tell you how he felt about the painting? Did Albert tell you about his relationship with his brother? Has Albert ever talked to you about Natasha? Crap, I wanna ask all 4 of them. Left many occasions to continue working. Right, let's continue with the painting. I feel like this is the correct way to go.
Did Albert tell you how he felt about the painting?
From the first moment he loved it. He was fascinated by it. But who could blame him? A little diversity, fresh air, a beautiful lady, and of course, on top of all that, he could finally do what he loved best. Paint.
Which could be a surprisingly effective therapy.
It could have been. Unfortunately, these excursions have greatly intensified his seizures. They have become more frequent and extreme.
Well, that's really strange.
So Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person. But unfortunately, his seizures also multiplied and
More dangerous.
Albert was hurting himself. And on one occasion, he even tried to hurt me. It was unprecedented. It seemed his confined personality was taking over their shared mind entirely, piece by piece.
Oh, the bad personality took over.
Do you think the painting caused it?
Not the painting, Mr. Featherland.
His brother?
But its subject.
Exactly. He was obsessed, right until that fateful day when he returned to us for the last time.
What exactly happened that day, Doctor?
It wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally, I mean. And Albert was in a terrible, terrible state.
What happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
Oh, why so secretive all of a sudden?
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning back now. So, Albert's tongue was torn out, or cut off, I don't know exactly, and he was blinded in one eye, or rather, one of his eyes was missing entirely.
What? Why?
So you're saying Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
Yes. And they didn't give any explanation as to what had happened. They simply told me it was some kind of accident.
Yeah, sure. Accident.
Dr. Quetzal is cold and professional, but he's also very confused. Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert. Focus, confused.
Oh wow, almost fill up the meter completely. You didn't believe Albert had an accident, right? Maybe it's not easy for you to talk about it, but did you examine his wounds thoroughly? Two fellows who brought Albert back. Could you describe them? I already know who they are, so don't care about that. Did you examine the wounds?
Maybe it's not easy for you to talk about it, but did you examine his wounds thoroughly?
I'm not that kind of doctor, Mr. Featherland, but even I could determine his tongue was either cut out or bitten off, and his eye was gouged out. He also had several broken bones.
But there's no doubt it wasn't an accident.
I don't believe it was, Mr. Featherland.
I totally agree.
Right, concentrate, doctor. What did you think happened to Albert? Pull yourself together, doctor. What was Albert's condition after the incident? What was his condition after that?
Pull yourself together, Doctor. What was Albert's condition after the incident?
Mind your tone, detective.
Fuck you, I'll mind whatever the fuck I want.
Sorry, Doc, but I can see you're disturbed by these memories.
How could I not be? I'm not a monster. We're talking about a mutilated animal here.
So, what was he like after the incident?
Even more silent than ever. No surprise, I suppose. He was not only silent in words, but also in his soul and spirit.
What do you mean by that?
He never painted anything again, and his seizures completely stopped.
Oh, yeah, he definitely switched with his brother.
That didn't get me far.
Damn.
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
A few weeks later, Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell, a more safe one.
What did Hobart do during the visit?
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother, who was in an almost vegetative state.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while, he was trying to signal something. Perhaps he was too afraid. And most likely his fingers had been broken too, so he couldn't even write.
If he was in such a bad condition and you're not that kind of a doctor, why didn't you take him to a real fucking hospital?
Do you think Hobart could have killed Albert?
It's horrible to say it, but I'm sure of it.
How did he disappear in the end? Did someone come for him?
That's what's most eerie about it all, Mr. Featherland. He simply disappeared. His door, which only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness. We don't know what happened to him.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch. Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could be of help. But please, I now must attend to my work.
We understand, Doctor. Thank you.
Damn. Still couldn't get the 100%. It was that second to last question, I believe. Fuck.